Hey everyone, I'm coming to you today because I finally got a copy of this. Yep, that is the latest edition of the Rider Tarot deck, released in February 2020, and this one comes with Pamela Colman Smith's original hand-drawn titles on the cards. It's been about 20 years, give or take, since US Games has produced a yellow box tarot that has Pamela Colman Smith's calligraphy at the bottom. And I'm really excited to see what Modiano in Italy will do with this. Generally, from what I've seen so far, it's your typical Modiano deck, but with Pamela Colman Smith's calligraphy at the bottom. But I'm excited for it anyway. It took me forever to get this deck. I heard about it in early-ish February. I believe it was released around February 16th to coincide with Pamela Colman Smith's birthday, which was very nice of US Games. But then I couldn't find a copy of it. A lot of the stores in my area weren't going to be placing an order for a while because they still had copies of the previous edition on their stands. Amazon was really slow to stock it. By the time they did stock it, my particular warehouse where everything gets shipped out from was just slow to even get that. So I think I've placed like 4 orders and had to return them. This one finally came from eBay, and I'm excited to see it. I feel like it's been a journey. A few people have already done unboxings, so I thought what I would do is compare it with the previous edition of this deck. This came out, I don't know when it came out exactly, but I picked up a copy of it in December, so it is the absolute edition that came before this one. Looking at these two decks, we can see that the covers are more or less the same. I don't see any obvious difference in coloring. The only thing is we do have this little banner at the base of the new one that says includes original hand-drawn titles. I thought that that would be a sticker on the box. It is not. That's actually on the box itself. So this will have been like the first time US Games has changed the cover of the box in forever. Probably since Blushing Fool territory. That's kind of cool. But let's take a moment to look at some of the other aspects of the boxes. Top covers, they look about the same. Not seeing any major differences there. Back of the boxes, that's actually a lot of difference. That is a lot of difference. We've got a whole paragraph here of all the different things that the cards are known by. Pamela Colman Smith has been downgraded, it looks like. We don't have that massive Pamela Colman Smith. Now she and Arthur Edward Wade are getting equal billing. Changed to these little dots as opposed to the little squiggly tildes. That's new. We've taken off visit our website. There's also been a font change on the whole boxes. That's a lot of difference. Wow. Huh. Let's take a look at this side. Actually, maybe we'll do that. I don't see any font changes there. Everything looks absolutely the same, which is pretty great. Next side. Huh. We've got a logo change. They've not changed that logo since like Belgium. Huh. So obviously we've inverted the, white fool, black field to black fool, yellow field, and lost the US Games Systems Inc. Huh. And the bottoms of the boxes are different too. So the reason I'm saying huh and is I'm slightly worried I might have actually gotten a counterfeit deck, because I did end up having to get this through eBay as opposed to Amazon. So I'm going to pause and do a little bit of research and see if I can't see any box snippets on a couple other videos. So I'll be right back. All right, so I just took a moment to reference the videos that Lisa from Mindful Tarot and Simon from the Hermit's Cave have already done on the new deck. Neither of them spend a lot of time showing all the different sides of the box, but I was able to catch a couple frames where I did see this side in a quick like box flip or something like that, and I was able to see that the logo had in fact changed on their decks. So I am very confident that I did not get a counterfeit deck as I had initially feared. So excellent. So yeah, this is kind of exciting because US Games has not really done a major box update in about 20 years, like I said. And the primary differences we see here are we get a logo change. We also get a box bottom change. Let's get that there. ISBN number has gone shrunk a little bit. We have everything else in this yellow field, which is neat, and lots and lots and lots of changes on the box back. Shocking number of changes on the box back. So yeah, don't know why they made all the changes, but it's kind of exciting from a collector's point of view, isn't it? Let's get into taking a look and hacking into this guy. Breaking out the handy dandy steak knife of doom, which gets so little play in my house. All right, cracking this guy open. Try not to, oops, rip or bend things too much. All right. Modiano's game has always been to package the little book in with the cards themselves, which I think is kind of neat because this does tend to indicate that Modiano is in fact publishing the books. And they're probably doing the box as well because they're putting those in and shipping them out. So let's hack into this guy as well. Oh, it doesn't want to go. There you go. All right. Have they updated the little white book? Oh my goodness, they have! All right, that's the new one. So as long as Modiano has been publishing the Rider Tarot, the little white books have looked like this. They all look the same. It's ridiculous. They all have the little white book number of 60 inside, as we see there. Sorry, I have the coronavirus. I don't really have some sort of flu. But here we have a logo update, which is kind of cool. Font change, everything gets pushed up a little bit. Very neat. What's in the back? Back's changed too. For the better, I think it's easier to read. They have the 2019 copyright there. What did they copyright in 1991? I'm gonna have to look at that. Yep, booklets made in Italy, booklets made in Italy. Well, that's neat. What is the number here? Ooh, they've also taken away entirely the facade of the reprint numbers. Take a look at that. So there we've got reprint 60, which it's been forever. And now we don't have reprint numbers at all. But the font has gotten bigger, which is nice. Anything else? Oh, yeah, there's some... Got the big capital there, no big capital. Oh, yeah, there has definitely been some change. They did increase the, how many pages are in this little book? 34 pages in this. No, 34 pages in this. Well, I'm gonna have to go through and actually read this and see if they've changed the meanings, changed the actual text. They couldn't have done that much. It's been the same forever. Still, lots of changes with this Little White Book edition. And I'm kind of sad that they've taken away the reprint numbers. Those are really helpful when it comes to making sure your deck chronology is accurate. So, RIP deck numbers. Little White Book reprint numbers, sorry. Sad. All right, well, let's take a look at the cards themselves. Let's do that again. Anytime you get a new one of these, the Magician's always the first card up, so let's take a moment to go to the back of the majors and get our Fool, because I like looking at the Fool first. They do Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. Hang on a second. Let me put my other deck in order. All right, so it does look like my decks are in order, which is very nice. Here we've got our one that I bought in December. Here's the one that came out in February that I just got. The two advert cards that come with this are exactly the same, although it looks like there's been some color correction with the newer printing. The back field is more of a parchment color as opposed to this like yellower background. And the book is printed out here a little bit darker, so it looks like a darker green when compared to that one. But overall, same. Actually, let's do this. Again, these are largely the same, aside from some slight color differences. The printing here with the photography actually looks a little bit better. It's slightly sharper, so they might have even done like a little bit of a tweak there. And now the cards themselves, which honestly look about the same to me. I think this one might have some more yellow tones in the rocks down here. So we might have a deck where, on my older one, where it's just overall a little bit more yellow than our one with the restored font. The copyright has also changed. Here down, let me actually pull this up. So the previous copyright, as you can see there, says 1971 U.S. Games Systems, Inc. The new one, oops, let's get that kind of in frame. Is that in frame? God only knows. That one says copyright 1971, comma, 2019 U.S. Games, and U.S. Games is all one word. I'm glad the copyright's shorter, but I think the two dates are a little bit ugly. And I'm interested in why they put the 2019 copyright on the card. I thought it would just be on like the Little White Book, but it's on the card itself. That's disappointing. I'm looking at the line quality, the way they lay down, the printers lay down the black. It looks about as blown out as the previous edition. The blues do look slightly bluer, but this is little shades of difference. Oh, there's a big old scratch down the middle of my Magician. That's unfortunate. The reds are looking a little bit more true to red as opposed to like slightly on the orange side. Very small shade of difference. I'm not seeing much of a difference color-wise on that card. Oh, hey, we've got a crop here. You can see how on this this one, we can see a little bit under that moon, but here the field has been raised a little bit so that that part's cropped out. So it looks like they did restore some of the original aspecting, which is nice. I always thought this looked a little bit sloppy. Yep, same with the Empress. This is cropped in a little bit. See how, if we're looking at the signature mark, this field comes right to the bottom of that signature mark, where here we've got like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch which is rather nice. Yep, same with that. You can see how it's cropped into the mark there, and here it isn't. So that's nice. I'm glad that that's been restored as well as the font. Because to be honest, cropping into the image, like you're removing some of the artist's work. That's just a crime. So I'm very glad to say that that was done. Let's go to the lovers. There's some more colors there. We can kind of get a better bit. Yeah, there's a slight color change here too. The blue in the sky here is a touch on the purple side, like slight touch, and here it's more of a sky blue. But yeah, like the green is a little bit greener in the hair. This green lends toward the yellow side. Yeah, the greens here are a little bit different. Looks like they corrected this weird like yellow splotch down here. So there are tiny little differences in the cards as far as color goes, which is to be expected. They have to reset color every time they do a print run. And if you just have a little bit more in a blue, or if the ink is, you know, mixed differently, you're gonna have some tiny differences that you really wouldn't notice until you got right on in there. It does look like some of the black lines in some of the cards, they're almost impossible to tell the difference. But I can see here in this Lovers where the black line work is a little sketchier, like it wasn't scanned as well. You can really see it here in the signature. That signature looks sketchy as all get out. This one, it's nice and dark and black. So I think the printing of the newer one is a little better overall. Oh, big color change in the face there. The line work is still kind of meh. And I think that they've definitely like oversaturated a lot of the colors. Like it's not as pleasing to look at as the vintage deck is. But the things that they have changed, I think, are for the better. Because this deck is such a yellow deck, it's really obnoxious when your reds are more orange or your greens are more yellow-green. Like it makes the entire deck look very yellow, whether the color is yellow or not. Here in this newer one, the reds are redder, the greens are greener, and that definitely gives the card a little bit more of a visual balance. Let's take a look at some of the minors. Actually, let's look at the Hermit first. Hermit's one that always has a big difference. Oh yeah. The newer edition's gone a little bit darker than the one that you were even able to have in December. Minors. Let's do the Queen of Cups for both of these. I like her. Where's the Queen of Cups? Wait, did the cups go backward on this one? Shoot. Well, that was just sloppy. Yep, same thing. The greens are greener, the blues are bluer, reds are redder. Let's do one more. I always like this card, just is so happy. And I think in the newer printings, it looks really terrible. I think that's very blue. Very yellow. And that's kind of a sick little ochre color at the bottom. Let me see if I can't grab that from a vintage deck real fast. It would be fast. That's the same card from my 6th edition, little white book. It's so different. Look, you can see that they've got like 2 different things of fabric in the central figure here. Everything's just a lot softer. Ugh, why can't we go back to these older printings? Probably because of money. Yeah, overall, very tiny, subtle differences in the edition that had come out. I don't know when it came out, but the edition I bought in December, which is the one just before this one, and the restored calligraphy edition. Would I suggest buying a brand new copy if you already had an Italian copy? Maybe. Like if you didn't want to go through the hassle of finding something vintage, yeah, I probably would. But I still think it's probably a little bit better to seek out a vintage copy than anything else. But it is a slightly better printing, I think, than the one that Modiana had done just before this one. So good on them. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble for a little bit. I hope this was edifying, and enjoy your day.